What's up, family? Welcome to the Eavesdrop. It's Neil Oates Jr. and the one, the only Mr. Marcus J. Scott. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Neil? How's it going, man?
And you want honest or you want the church answer?
Man, here you go. Always trying to give me decisions, man. I don't want no church answer, man. Give me the honest answer. This is just me and you talking, right?
Yeah, man, this is just us talking. People might be
Okay.
eavesdropping, but it's just us. Man, it's been a tough 48 over here, brother. Tough 48. People being people, trying to figure that out.
Man, that's how it is. You talking about some do I want the church answer? It sounds like some church stuff.
No, it ain't church stuff because ain't none of these people but grace the doors of God's house. I can tell you that right now. These people, if they know Jesus, they acting like they don't know. They acting like they don't know Him, and it look like He don't know them. Now this is just people and their peopleness, man. Trying to and so in fact, it's caused me some stuff today that I've found myself having to juggle some things that I shouldn't be juggling. Right,
Really?
it's throwing off my time, it's throwing off my attention, the energy that I can give other things. And so I wanted to really talk to you about this whole juggling act, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a man, as a father, as a business owner, as a friend, as a son, as a husband, right? This juggling act that we have to do. You open for that chat, dude?
Well, yeah, I guess we can talk about it. I
Now
don't know if
hold
I
on.
really want to talk about it, but
Now be careful. Be careful what you say. We know that our residences are bugged. So please do not be mistaken.
right.
There is no statute of limitations. What it said on the eavesdrop. It can come back and bite you next week, next month, next year. So be selective in what you decide to juggle, dude.
Yeah, man, gotta watch what I say, man. Oh yeah, got hits out on me and everything.
Come on. Oh yeah. Speaking of hits, everyone, if you are watching this show, we are going to have Marcus's cousin on the show very
I
very
might not be
soon.
here, but he said he was coming.
Hey, well, I hope you are here, like I said, because that means that the hit might be successful. All of a sudden, we have a new co-host. I'm right here. I'm calling him Big Brother. I'm like, "Yo, what's up, Big Bro? I saw what you did to Clutch."
You heard
I
what
don't
happened to the last security guard.
be like, "No, what happened to the last video? Oh, nothing, buddy. Nothing, buddy. Nothing."
Hey, buddy,
Right?
buddy.
Be like, you heard what happened to the last co-host? Be like, no, what happened to the last co-host? Hey, well, what was his name? No, don't worry about it. All right, so Clutch, when it comes to this juggling act, and people might say time management, they might think energy
hmm
management, emotional management. So what has been your experience when it comes to being all of those things, putting on these multiple hats and trying to get more done, everything done? So just share either some experience or some advice that you might share, sir.
Well, first thing I want to say is somebody hit me to this because we often do say time management, and I guess you can look at it as such. However, it's actually the activities that we need to manage within the time that we have. We have no control over time.
Right.
And so while we do say time management, and that's been the case, it's actually managing the activities within that time, right? So one of the things that I'm constantly doing is, especially since I'm getting older, right, writing everything down and then prioritizing. I mean, bottom line for me, whether it's electronically, whether you're writing it down, whether you're putting it somewhere, and because I definitely no longer can do it just in my mind. And not only that, me and my sister, we joke a lot saying that, I might have a little ADHD because it's like I could be doing something right, squirrel run, oh look, squirrel, and get sidetracked and be doing something else real quick. And so I write everything down, and I'm still even working on that, even though I have several calendars, trying to incorporate them all in electronically and also physically old school, writing stuff down. I even still
Oh,
have a
hold on.
calendar on
I
my
thought
desk.
you were calling me old school. You said old school. I'm about to say, what's up, young blood? I'm picking up what you're putting down. I thought you were calling me old school. My bad. I'm about to say that's kind of backwards, dude. So really quickly, that goes back to the whole idea of a short pencil is better than a long memory,
Oh
right?
yeah, and I got
Um,
that in my money book too.
Come on. Now here we
Yeah.
go. You know,
So
I'm never too far away. The money book is never too far away, especially when I'm talking to Clutch, Mr. Marcus J. Scott. He might drop one. Now, it's been a while since I put something in there, but who knows?
okay.
Today, lightning might strike. But here's where I want to just, give some things that I have heard. I know we often say that we want to prioritize our schedule, write things down. My mentor a number of years ago said, you don't want to prioritize your schedule, you want to schedule your priorities. And it's not just word play, but we've heard this idea of putting those big rocks on our calendar in our lives first, right? Make sure that our spiritual is taken care of, our mental is taken care of, our relationships, and then we add the business and these other things that we need to get done. So that's a big deal for me when I'm writing things down. Or actually, I use the Google Calendar, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm using
Yeah.
Google Calendar so that I can share it with a number of people, so wife can get in and see what I have going on because she's scheduling some stuff for us as well. And so for me, it's making sure I get those date nights on Thursday nights in the calendar, making sure that our time to get our weekly planning on Sunday is done. We're still doing that, right?
Oh, you talking to me?
Oh, quit playing, boy. Quit playing. You know who I'm talking. Ain't nobody but me and you here. Ain't nobody listening to me
Man,
but
I
you,
ain't
and
know
you might,
nobody walked in the room or not,
and you
man.
might not even be listening to me. He like, man, I need some new headphones. These right
Yeah.
here,
And
I'm
stuff
losing reception.
a little static going on. Yeah, I still have that on my calendar, and sadly to say that sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Obviously, the day/week goes better when I have sat down on my Sunday evening and planned out the week and made sure I double checked everything. But yeah, that's very important, and so that I know what I'm doing, and the gives me a better idea of the direction, for that week. So that's very
So,
important.
so something I want to just add and also ask is, you said so that your week can have better flow, so you get better direction on the week. What happens, right, when your week gets out of control, right? Do you have something that allows you to, so like if we're juggling, we're being dad, we're being
Mhm.
business owner, we're being friend, we're being son, we're being husband, and we're juggling. What happens when you drop one of those balls? Do you drop it and say, okay, I need to leave that one down for a little bit? Are you scrambling to pick it up? Do you have a way to check to let you know that you've dropped the ball?
So one of the things, like you were saying, is prioritizing, right? Because, and when I started off, I was saying to write everything down, but for me, a lot of times I have to see it, right? So I write it down first so that I can see, then prioritize. However, in using the Google Calendar and what you were talking about, there are several people that can also see that Google Calendar as well. One to be my wife, and then the other my assistant. So that, as you just said, if I do drop the ball, hey, it's crazy story. Or
Hold
as
on,
we,
wait. The views of Marcus J. Scott are not the views of the Eavesdrop or Neil Oates Jr. This story, the names, if Neil's name is in it, it is fictitious. Go ahead, sir.
so ironically, it's only me this time,
Thank
right?
God, Jesus.
So
Boy, you be trying to Takashi 69 people. You be like, I'm going down. They got us. Hey,
they got
come
us,
on
man.
out.
Come
They
on,
got
man.
us.
We
What
caught.
you mean they
We
got
we
us?
caught.
We ain't caught. Who is we? Oh, you speak French now.
Yeah. So out of the blue, I get a call yesterday, and they say, "Hey, we want to come check your AC unit." I'm like, "Okay." They say, "Yeah, you have two maintenance a year. We come out and we check." And I'm like, "Did I pay for this already?" They're like, "Yeah, yeah, it comes in your package with the service you got last year." I'm like, "Oh." okay, but it's paid for, right? She's like, yeah. So I'm
Don't be
like, all
trying to,
right,
but don't be trying to switch on me now. That's gonna be 19.99 plus the
right.
filthy.
So I'm like, okay. So she says, well, will you be home tomorrow morning? So I look at my calendar, right? I say, let me double check my calendar. So I had a Zoom at 11, and I try not to get things close. So obviously, if it's at 11, I'm not going to say, hey, I got up until 11. I say, hey, as long as it's before 10, I'm good. So she says, okay, yeah, we can definitely be there before 10. I'm like, all right, cool. What did I not do?
You didn't
I
write it
didn't put
down.
it in the calendar. I didn't write it down. Nothing. So we wake up this morning. I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, we gotta run to Lakeland. We gotta go take care of some business over there. She's like, all right. So we get up, we go. I get a phone call, or no, I don't get the phone call. The ring goes off at
The camera.
the camera ring. I'm like, who's at the house? I'm like, I don't know who this is. You know who this is? And so I'm like, man, I don't know. So I see the truck off in the distance. Like, oh, the AC man is supposed to come.
They charge you
So,
that 19.95. They say service charge. Hey, that comeback is not. He over there cussing you.
so so I get to him on the ring. I'm like, hey sir, I'm so sorry, I forgot, blah blah blah, whatever. And so here's the short version of the story. I get off and I'm like, man, I ain't put it in my calendar, da da da. So all goes, what? What'd you say I ain't do? I said, no, first of all, I said I didn't put that the AC people were coming in my calendar. She was like, oh, well, yeah, because I ain't see nothing too. See, yeah, you didn't even tell me so that I could have reminded you to say. And the point is, I didn't write it down. I didn't put it in the calendar. So although at that moment the slot was open, I should have immediately wrote it down and put it on the calendar so that I would not have gone to take care. I could have, made some adjustments or what
Yeah.
have you for what I had to go take care of in Lakeland. And so going back to what we were just talking about, I have to write everything down. I have to put it on the calendar because even if things are open or available at that moment, that's something where I dropped the ball. And at that point, had I written it down, I could have had one of my backups to correct me or make the adjustment, but I didn't even have that because I didn't follow. And I guess we can throw this in there. I didn't follow my process on writing it down, putting it on the Google Calendar so that everything continues to stay aligned like it ought to.
And so now you're gonna have a charge for 99.95 instead of 19.95 because they were like, man, the frustration costs $80. Frustration costs $80, right?
So I
And
mean,
so
so the good thing was I had a backup plan. I called mother-in-law. I said, "Hey, mom, you still got a key to the house?" She was like, "Yeah, baby, what you need?" I said, "I need you to go let the AC man."
you got mom, man, you got mom in love running all around the city trying to get to.
Man, she stayed 2 streets over, man.
Don't make yo. What do ET say? What did ET Mama say? Don't make yo emergency mine,
Well, he did say
son.
that.
Don't make yo emergency mine. Right?
He
Just because
did
you
say
and,
that.
and so we talking about
He
juggling, right?
yeah,
We're
yeah,
juggling these balls.
yeah,
You dropping them. Guess what? But see how honest is that? We juggle balls. We drop them. Now we got to have somebody else stop what they're doing
yeah,
to come and pick those balls up.
yeah,
And then the question is, the ask is, now while we know about making deposits and withdrawals, it might be a small withdrawal, but now come on, Clutch, man, how you gonna have mom in love around there?
see, you this how we getting in trouble, man. Right there. See,
It ain't me. You said it. You were like, "Hey, mother." See, you could instead of saying your mother-in-law, you could say mother-in-love, right? I'm trying to
she
make
is
it.
my mother. I call her mama.
All right. So you should have said,
So
"Mama, mama, mama, ma, ma."
I did
Huh?
say that.
What you need, baby? I need some help. We already knew that. What kind of help you need this time, right? I'm juggling and I dropped some balls. Well, how you drop the balls? Now, see, I ain't ask you all that. I just, do you
See,
have a
this how
key?
stuff go too far, right there. See. Now I'm trying to tell a
Ain't
simple
nobody
story.
here but me and you. So this is what we do, right? All right, so on this clutch, here's where I just want to remind people, right? Having those checks and balances when it comes to our calendars, when we're making sure that those priorities are getting in,
Mm-hmm.
is so important. But then, what about to the people who are watching us right now? And when we say prioritize your schedule, make sure that you or schedule your priorities, make sure your priorities get
Yeah.
on the calendar right now. What about to those people who are saying, Neil, Marcus, I have 45 hours worth of priorities, like legit priorities, and I don't have enough time. What do I do? How do I do it? How do I get stuff done? How do I know what to take off of my plate? And so, first, before you answer, one of the best pieces of advice is I heard is that the lie we've been told is that quitters never win, right? And that's a lie because we know that many winners just quit doing the wrong things, right? And so I would just ask you to question yourself, are these really priorities, right? You can't have 45 number ones when it comes to priority. The first thing on my calendar every week is Thursday, 7:30 until midnight. That's date night. Now, I mean, sometimes it just goes until 8:30. I'm just saying. We might just be here at the house in the backyard, but that's priority. After that, it's going to be Sunday, making sure I get my weekly planning in. So what would you say to the people who are saying, I have too many priorities? I can't stop juggling. If I drop one, I might have to call in people and then it becomes a norm.
Yeah. So you definitely cannot have 45 priorities. There is a one, two, three. Now, how we categorize that may be different, per individual, right? Some of it is going to depend on uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Your upbringing, background, your morals, that sort of thing. Some people so it's going to vary, is what I'm getting at. However, one of the things, and I'm not going to tell the story because I can't tell it as good as ET, but he tells the story about if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, right? And talks about the guy taking the guru taking him out to the water and putting his head under, and he said, "What was the only thing you was thinking about?" And I was thinking about breathing. So with that thought in mind, right, at that moment that he tells that story that the guy is trying to breathe, nothing else matters but breathing, right?
Mhm.
So nobody dying at that moment except for
Him.
himself, right, is all that matters. And so we have to approach it with that sort of mindset, right? Okay, so what is the most important? What is life or death to that person at that moment, right? And then start to prioritize in that manner. One, two, three, right? So one of the things that I do look at is, and I have to truly start looking at this, when you're on the plane, they tell you to put the mask on first, right? So what is going to allow me to be in a good mental state, a good physical state, a physical healthy state, that I'm able to, okay, now move to that next one, right? So my number one priority is God first, right? Um, because
Now
in
hold
my
on, time
view,
out. Now hold on. Now see, I don't want y'all to think that Clutch is better than I am. Of course, God is first for me.
oh
Then it's
yeah,
my
he did
wife.
say
I don't.
date
I
night.
don't. I
He
don't want
did
y'all to
say date
think. I
night
don't want
is
y'all
right.
to think. Be like, boy, he be going to date night. Neil don't even be going to church. What kind of kids pastor is he? Don't do that to me, dude. Come on, man. Why you gonna say, well, like in my life, it's God?
Hey, I'm just speaking for me, man.
Come on, dude. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. See, this is how we go too far. We were just sitting here and I made a statement. Now you're gonna come and give that little jab. Don't do that, dude. No one likes it. No one likes that guy. Don't be that guy.
so, so
So
you know,
God, first giving honor to God, who is the author and the leader of my life.
see, man, here you
My
go,
personal
man.
time
See,
with God is first. After that,
yeah, yeah.
like
So,
a 1A is gonna be more time with God. And then 1B is even more time with God. And then I get to my wife.
yeah. So, I look at it from him being first, which does help with both my spiritual and mental self, right? And then me making sure I'm okay, and then everybody else with my wife coming next, family, and so on and so forth. But the point is that whether whatever your arrangement is on the order, it's going to vary for everybody. But there is an order. There is no, hey, there's 45 number one things. It's just impossible.
So what about, so what I hear you saying is, and those priorities might change on the day, or they might change based on the season or what you're chasing after, right? So if you have this big goal that you want to accomplish in, right, maybe a week or in a month, your priorities might have to change. So there might be some imbalance in your life for a week or a month or maybe a quarter as you're chasing after something. But I know that we agree in the point that in the fact that first you have to know what you want to get, what goal you're going after, and then align your priorities so that they are going to help you achieve your goal. And then you get those on your schedule, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I like, I mean, that's 100. I know what I like to do is, since you're going that far out, writing out my goals, and we talked about this in a previous show where I have my plan, right? I got my 130 day, 60 day, 90 day, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, right? And we may have to make adjustments based on what's working, what's not working, what comes up. Obviously, if I'm on a particular path and something happens in my family or there's a tragedy or something, I might have to make that adjustment, right?
Yeah.
And so we definitely have to always reevaluate um, our priorities, our schedule, our timing, our activities.
All right. So, what about the people who are watching this and saying, that sounds like too much work? I want to have fun, right? So, I just go, why you laugh? Come on. You know, there are people out here watching right now to this point who are like, these dudes crazy. We just want to have fun. It sounds like too much
Girls,
work.
I want to
Or
have fun.
who sing
Oh,
that?
sorry.
Who sings that?
I don't remember,
I know
man.
who don't. I know who
my my
shouldn't.
my throat was just a little scratchy. I just need some lemon water. That's all. See,
All right. So, what
shout
about
out to
people?
my armed forces
Oh,
veterans.
see,
I see
come
you
on.
got the Navy
Look,
cup up there.
man, you know I'm always having to rep hard. And so, whether I'm teaching or speaking or presenting or just doing something like this, I always got to keep this Tervis tumbler here with me. My dad was a Navy man, blue jacket, a sailor,
Hmm.
right? So it reminds me that um there are people who make sacrifices that I
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
make, right? Who have courage and bravery and all that good stuff. And because of that, we get to hang out and have conversations today,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Hey, this is
And
a little side note. This just, I'm sorry, man. This just popped in my head. But I was watching TV the other day, and this young lady was like, she was like, man, just thinking about September 11th. I was in the first grade when that happened, and I was thinking in my head, wow, because I remember where I was and I was serving at the time. But that's just crazy. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I got off.
so the mailroom. How was the mailroom right around September 11th? Why you laughing, Clutch?
All mail had stopped, man. Why you be messing with me, man?
What you mean? Why I mess with you? I'm asking questions, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who do not know, so tell people what your title was, Clutch, and then I'm going to interpret that in layperson's terms. What position did you hold?
I was security forces, one of the top
Okay, so
important.
one of the
uh
top flight of the world. So he was security forces for the mailroom. So Clutch would make sure that the mail, the incoming and outgoing mail, Clutch would make sure that it was delivered. And he did get an honorable discharge after receiving, what was it, two paper cuts in one day? Two paper cuts in one day. My man, he had to hang it up, man.
what were we talking about?
Top flight. That's what we talking
Of the
about. Top flight
world,
security of
Craig.
the world, Craig. The whole world, Craig. Nah, you just interrupted me. I'm giving shout outs. Then the September 11th, first grade. And you're like, well, I definitely wasn't in first grade when September 11th happened. I was not. He was in that mail bag. He was in his bag, y'all. So whenever y'all hear Clutch say, man, I'm getting to the bag, he's having flashbacks. He's going back to the mail room. I always joke about Clutch because Like he had that different clearance. He had that stuff that he want to tell me, hey Neil, don't tell me because everybody listening. Siri, Alexa, Bixby, our
Oh
wives.
yeah.
Don't
Oh yeah.
I
You
don't want
can't
none of
talk.
that.
You can't talk. They be like, no, it don't listen as long as you don't activate it. But then you slip up and say nothing like, what did you say?
And then it'd be like, well, how you know when to listen? You listening for your name all the time. But never mind, we digress. I just know I don't be talking to Clutch. I be talking to Clutch like on a movie Deuces I was watching with Lorenz Tate. Like anytime he talk to these homeboys, he get their phone, he put them in the tube box, and he crank up two motorcycles, and he just rev them. And then he like, yeah, so what they say? You know what I'm saying? They got her ventriloquist. She got, cause I don't know, something like this. They're like, okay, yeah, I see you, big dog, I see you. Huh.
Mm,
And then Clutch be on that Metro phone too. So that
mm,
Metro be
mm,
chirping.
See? Oh
All
man.
right, so let's get back real quick. So we digress for a moment, but so in closing, when it comes to you juggling, what would you say to someone right now who might be juggling too many balls, who might have too many balls in the air, and they're constantly dropping them, right? And then the mental, because we know that when we lose, when we drop a ball, it does take some mental energy. It does take
Mm-hmm.
maybe even our psychological piece, like, man, I feel like a failure. I keep dropping the ball here in my marriage, in my health, in my business. What would you say to someone who's trying to figure out, how do I keep juggling? How do I manage the activities? What's something that you might share with people, Clutch?
Well, and we talk about this quite often, right? Finding somebody who's good at it, right? Finding a mentor, a friend, someone to hold you accountable,
Well,
someone
you
to help.
always talking about these daggum accountability partners and success partners, Clutch. Man, I want to do it. So people are saying, I want to do it by myself. Can't I just do it by myself,
Man,
dude?
we weren't made to do stuff by ourselves, man. We just weren't made that way. And when I say we, I mean humans. Yeah, man. I mean, heck, I mean, if you want to talk about animals too, because on Noah's Ark, he said take them in two by two. But okay, again, I digress. But
Man, and you always talking about accountability partners in the Bible, man. Dang. I see a recurring theme here that just keeps presenting itself.
yeah,
The
but I
Bible
mean
and accountability.
that hey, that's one of the things that will definitely help us. You asking me questions about help, right? Because my thing is, if you are struggling with it and that's an issue, more than likely you've been doing it wrong and by yourself for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need a coach, mentor, friend, accountability partner, somebody that is going to help you, even if it is just helping to remind you, hey, did you do what you said you were going to do? Right. A lot of times when I used to talk with my sons and I say, okay, what are we gonna do to fix this? You give me some suggestions. Well, Dad, I think I could do this, and this. Okay, great. So now when I hold you accountable, I didn't make this. You did.
Mm, daddy. That's why I don't talk to you no more, daddy. You be tripping. I kind of hold. So that goes back to the saying everyone wants to be held accountable until they're held accountable, right?
Right.
And it's like, why you all in my business? Right. You set these goals. I didn't say I want to do this. I'm just fine going over here minding my own business.
Right.
Come on, Clutch. All
Yeah.
right,
So,
man. Before we get out of here, anything you want to say to the people in closing, man?
man, I love this show, man. I'm telling you, when I love, I mean, I
There you
kind
go,
of like
using that
hanging out with
L.
you, but
There you go, that L word again, dude.
I mean, I kind of like hanging out with you, but I love the people, man. I do love how we vibe sometimes, and sometimes you're a little crazy, throw me off a little bit. You know,
Who?
but
I'm the crazy one in the
yeah, man,
relationship.
because I try to be serious. I try to give people good sound advice. We try to be serious and everything, and
I'm
then
not
you
good
want to
enough to
come in
give
here
advice. That's
joking, always
no
laughing and snickling and giggling.
snickling, all that hee and ha ha and that kikiing and boboing as they call it. Quit kicking and bowing, man. So for me, I know I'm not good enough to get advice. That's why I just be asking questions. I be challenging people. I'm like, hey, you know what? I challenge you to. They be like, well, dang. He ain't give me no advice, but he challenged me to look at something. Y'all ain't finna lose and break y'all marriage up and have bad kids and fail in your business. Say Neil gave me this advice. The views of Marcus J. Scott are not those of Neil Ostrini and the Eavesdrop podcast. All right, man. Here we go. Always a pleasure, Clutch.
Yeah, man. Always, man.
All right, remember, we want to hear what you thought about this episode. We would love to hear your comments. Drop those in the comments on this video. Be sure to share it with a friend, a loved one, maybe an enemy that you want to see do better so that they can be a better enemy. Who knows? Everyone needs to get better at juggling. So share this, comment, subscribe to the channel. We love you. God loves you. There's nothing you can do about it. And I'm going to let you run the rest of the whole thing, Clutch.
Oh man. So until next time, we both well, I love you. I don't know about Neil, Um, don't be average. Be world renowned. We'll see you next time.
See y'all next time. Be well renowned. Peace.